From rest and sleep, which would thy pictures be, much pleasure, than from thee much more must flow. One short sleep past, we wake eternally, and death shall
Bid farewell to the things that you could not shake. Let me wash them with just another taste. You will feel no weight. Soul came to sit in peace. Pushing daisies, I shall take thee. Pushing daisies, like you've always dreamed.
and soonest our best men with thee do go. Rest of their bones and souls delivery. One short sleep past, we wake eternally, and death shall be no more.
Oh, death, thou shalt die.
Testing, mic check. Cinnamon buns, cinnamon buns, cinnamon buns. Hello, hello, friendos. My name is Nez, and we are once again back at it again for some more Arknights, because today we are continuing our story reading of When Elegies Are Ashes. I swear, bro. Just one more Victorian Saga epilogue. I swear, bro. Just one last one. We're in the middle of things. A little recap of everything that happened last time. We made it to the newly founded capital of the liberated Terran nation, and apparently, classic Arknights Depresso has ensued. NPCs died. Hypergriff once again offing nondescript NPCs to raise the stakes. No balls to do it to actual player characters because they got plot armor, and also if they whenever they do that, they just bring them back to life 5 minutes later. So we got dead kids, we got dead corrupt officials. Liberating Tara from the Victorians wasn't the end of things. The status quo of haves and have-nots is still perpetuated, even in a liberated Tara. But for now, we got Reed, we got Bridget working on things inside the city. Eblana, deadbeat ass ruler that she is, all she's done is, I don't know, lead the corrupt officials into the dark and spooky woods and let that take care of things. So far, she's the source of everyone's problems in the fucking city. Her purple flame somehow doing mind trickery on everyone to ignore the fact that their material conditions are still kind of fucked. Post-war, post-Sarkaz Victorian war. A lot of things happening, a lot of things being set up. We still got the hero guy who was forging the steel monument of a dragon. He seems to have lost his mind, after the kiddo died. So, what are we gonna do about him? Seems like we need a loving fire to grow this to grow this nation. We don't need some spooky purple fire that threatens to turn you into a zombie when you pass away. I think Eblana should just hand over the reins, nobody knows yet that there are two Dracos. So I say we just do a little switcheroo. We replace Eblana with Reed. We cleanse the purple flames of corruption and sussiness. And then Eblana can become a playable character, as is fit of a marketed mascot for a gacha game. Somehow, a head of state like her, a deadbeat head of state like her, has to get aboard Rhodes Island because reasons. Reasons involving money. Like 16 million worth of revenue money. That's what they made last month when she debuted. Anyway, there is that. Did a lot of yapping. Let's just see. Hold up. Ooh, headhunting. Hold up. 3 operators of our choice. Okay, I don't have Vulpes Folia. Actually, she's the only one I don't have from this list. Maybe it's not worth it for me to pull whatsoever. Fine, fuck it. We'll wait on Monster when she gets here. I still don't feel the need to actually pull for Eblana. She really does not spark any joy for me. So far, in the first 3 chapters, we have barely seen her, and we still assume that she's the one talking to the writer, recounting the story of everything that happened in the city. However, we've seen more of Reed than actually Eblana. And then there's Syla, and Gnosis, and Eunectes and Blemishine. Wow, I have 2 tickets. 2 tickets. I might get Blemishine for one. Nope, never mind. I don't know, might as well. I already have Eunectes. Nope, never mind. Okay, got it. It wasn't meant to be. Sure. Alrighty. On Saturday, we will be doing icebreaker games when we wrap up the story today and tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll be finishing off the story so that on Saturday we have time to grief in the queue for icebreaker games number 1. I swear I know what I'm doing and I'm not actually griefing. Me when I tell myself blatant lies. Anyway, let's head on over back to the story. When did we stop? Hold up. We stopped at 3. Okay. We stopped at 3, so we go to 4. EA-4, that old dance. You satisfy yourself with remorse and yearning, yet ask for nothing more. Story. Let's go. Let's raise the volume. Here we go. Hundreds, thousands of years ago, the Terran's ancestors did the same as their descendants do now, lighting bonfire after bonfire in the barren between autumn and winter. They would sleep beside the red dragon, their red-hot dreams buffeted by sand and wind until raw, but even so it was enough to keep everyone warm. They would wake up to a still-burning bonfire, because the red dragon does not sleep. With a moment's rest, the red dragon would find respite from fatigue and pain by breathing in the dreams of homeland, liquor, and freedom rising slowly from the flames and into the sky. Today, Samuin approaches. The people fuel the flames with wood torn from nearby ruins, and have entirely forgotten the ancient leisure time that seemed to last forever. That was another thing I also caught last time, is that the ancestral Terrans and the Sarkaz/Tikaz both celebrated Samhain. I don't know what that means, but it's something I want to pin onto my crazy board. Put your hand to the fire. Look at the color of the flames on my hip. I'm a Terran, I tell you, one blessed by the red dragon. Think a spy couldn't fake the color of a lamp? Get on with it! May the red dragon be merciful. Are they just reaching out into a bonfire? Oh, it doesn't even hurt too bad. Is this what eating potatoes all the time in a time of famine does to you, or is it also additionally plus the purple flame mind control? that's making you guys put your hands towards the fire.
Really? Look, you could barely make out the burn marks on my hand.
I think the villagers are starting to lose it, along with their sense of pain.
So you're not a Victorian spy, but do you know of anyone else who hasn't undergone the trial yet?
Brother, that's also another thing set up last time, is that the thinking within the city of this Terran city, of this refounded Terran city, is getting more insular by the minute. The famine's not helping. The conflict in the Dark Forest with Victorian scouts are not helping. Eblana's not fucking helping, deadbeat leader. People are just... People are getting their blood boiled by themselves. They're raising hysterics by themselves, which resulted in the death of a child. Quiet, resident.
You. Yeah, you.
Where did that come from? I'm gonna take a drink of water.
Yes, you. Have you burned your hand over there yet?
People are just burning their hands into the bonfire. They somehow think that doesn't make you a Victorian? Okay, dog. Because you have the blessing of the dragon, the Draco.
Say something, will you? Enough fiddling with that broken knot of yours. Come with me. I'll take you there. Just put down the knot.
Wham.
You hit me. My knot. You dared. Fine, keep your bloody knot. Just come with me if you're not a Victorian spy.
Brother, there are no Victorian spies in this city. Bro, they all got lost in the Dark Forest before even entering the borders. The quiet resident stands up without a word and heads towards the bonfire with shaky steps. The square's already descended into complete chaos, though half of it stems from suspicion and hatred, not to mention frustration at having revealed no spies yet. The other half comes from the looks of despair and deathly silence. Until a faint sound of something dragged across the ground rumbles in the distance. Mr. Hero Guy dragging over the big Draco monument. The sound grows louder and louder until it drowns out all the clamor and chaos. Everyone hears the sound of something massive, slowly being dragged closer to them. It's a big dragon! It's a big metal dragon made from people's pots, pans, and apparently prosthetics. In a flash, every other sound fades, leaving only the shaking steel and gears in its wake. Hidden in the humid mist is a gigantic silhouette of an ice-cold statue. Forged by a hero, and still considered incomplete by the townsfolk, the statue of the Red Dragon's ancestors presented to Tara. It arrives in the raging light of the dying sun, yet even so, nearly manages to shroud the sky. The dragon statue came to life? No, that's Kulan.
Kulan, are you here to help us find the Victorians too?
He has to prove he isn't one first.
Over here, Kulan. Listen, the fire won't hurt you as long as you're not Victorian.
I feel like the fire hurt everyone who put their hands in it, and everyone's just pretending that they didn't get hurt by the fire.
Are you deaf? Get over here already! Hold on, he dragged this giant statue all on his own?
Yeah, guys. Threaten the guy who could drag this entire statue into the plaza. They finally notice the iron chains wrapped around his arms. 1, 2, 3 times around. And that's a statue's weight was resting on those wide yet mortal shoulders. The hero does not respond to his name and continues forward. The statue grinds down on him till he draws blood. His flesh is nearly rent asunder. His bones cry out in sorrow, and yet he presses on. The young hero walks ahead of the statue, unafraid of the disparity between his small stature and the gigantic structure. He takes one step, then another, each heavy and certain, towards an open space in the crowd. He parks the statue in the square's empty center, and struggles to turn around before facing everyone before him. The steel skeleton bears an icy elegance, wings frozen in motion craving for flight, placed as if it were meant to be there since the beginning. Stop, my brothers and sisters, before we kill any more of our own. For a moment, no one dares to respond. Hate and doubt both remain, as well as the pain that keeps everyone from advancing towards him, like an army of walking corpses. The man before them is a hero. He protected Nezeru. He dragged both blessing and curse all the way here. The statue behind him laces his every word with an awe-inspiring weight.
Kill our own? Who?
You fuckers killed a child yesterday!
We're burning hands with fire now. But what if your spy isn't found?
You really dragged the statue here. What should we do? Should we interrupt him?
I don't know, man, he's making a speech. I still don't know if he's of sound mind or not.
Did our food not return to us? Is the war not over? Say there really was a spy. Why must the entire city gather here? Why must we hurt each other just to find one lowly spy?
I don't know, man. That sounds like the words that would come from a spy.
Let him finish.
I'll say it again. The war is over. When it just ended, my thoughts were simple. I'd wait for a smith better than myself to arrive, then learn a thing or two from them so that I could repair what I had myself. But no smiths came, and I learned no skills. I even took what you lot needed to live, forged it to a statue. That was wrong of me. Nezeru is short of everything. Even an empty bowl is better put to catching rainwater than being cast into a shiny statue that does nothing but grow.
Okay, sounds like Kulan is of sound mind. He's one of the only people that have remained sober throughout this chaos. Kind of proud of him. I thought he would be a villain.
The food. So worried yesterday, so afraid that famine would put us past the point of no return. Maybe it was the Red Dragon's mercy. Maybe one of the 8 ag plates had a good harvest. The fact is, our food is back. And as long as we're alive, we can make it through this. Am I wrong? But Theo is no longer alive.
You still feel pity for that big Victorian bastard?
Yes, I am. When I heard of his death, I began to hate everyone in this city, including myself.
You know better than any of us what the Victorians have done.
Which is why we shouldn't repeat their same mistakes. Dog, we shouldn't... we shouldn't found a newly liberated Tara under Israeli vibes.
I know with the last of their strength, they leaned over and begged me to take him anyway. I hate you all. I even feel like taking revenge on any of you who sat back and watched him die. Revenge needs a reason, doesn't it? What's our revenge for then?
To rob them just like they robbed us back then.
Brother, that's the famine talking. We got the food back. The purple flame mind control somehow soothes you if it didn't outright make you burn your hands. Brother, there are no spies here. There are no Victorians here. You're shadowboxing Victorians in your head.
How do you suppose Nezeru could manage to even take a single grain from the Victorians, when we've already melted our axes into this statue?
We have to let those bastards feel the pain we went through.
That's just like how I want to make you lot feel what it's like to die alone in an alley. Our brothers, our sisters died so we could live. Why must we throw our lives away just to make others suffer?
Do you want us to love them then? To love those who stole our crops, killed our kin?
No, of course not. No one needs to love their enemy. All I want for you is to love the living, to love yourselves.
Look, man. It's 2025. We're hope maxing. Probably a year ago, we would be cynic maxing and saying that's a corny ass line for Arknights. Fuck it, we ball. End the Victorian saga with hope.
But I don't even need you to do that. I just have one question for you all. Tomorrow, when Samhain is over, once the shadow of war finally leaves us, what will you do? I wanted to finish this statue and carve my name on it, but now I want to find a better smith to teach me to fix up a prosthetic leg.
I don't know what's up with the fancy speech all of a sudden, Kulan, but I don't care what happens tomorrow or the war. I just want the Victorians dead. So if you're speaking for them, I want you dead too. Brother, come on, dog. Brother.
Fine.
Lon swings the sledgehammer he used to forge his statue towards the dragon's head. However, he exhausts himself both in making and moving it. So with a moment's hesitation, the hammer does not come crashing down. The crowd even assumes it to be some sort of ritual, and for a moment does not react to his plan. Only when they realize Klan intends to destroy the statue, do even the most dreary of the living dead collectively howl and dash in his direction, surrounding him. Everyone's gone crazy, dog. The food is back. There are no spies here. You're relatively safe and protected by the dark, spooky woods. Brother, shadowboxing Victorians in your heads. And it's not... The systemic racism brought upon by the Victorian nation shouldn't be burdened on its populace. Brother. Victorians like Terrans, they're also trying to live their lives. Some of them probably don't have enough animosity to even care about Terrans. Are probably dealing with their own shit as well. They had the sarcasm shit to deal with, by the way. Brother, we're shadowboxing Victorians where there are none. Can we focus on growing this nation before it dies out to boiling hatred, dog? Also, what's up, Silent Shurshire Hermit? A lot of nationalism and xenophobia. It's not really xenophobia. It is a collective trauma that all Terrans under Victoria have experienced, and it's boiling over. Even after the war, have you guys seen Shin Godzilla? No, not Shin Godzilla. Fuck it. Godzilla -1. It's like Godzilla -1. The war is over. The Terran people are technically liberated. They have their own borders. There are no Victorians around. They have self-determination and autonomy. However, they're still stuck. spiritually, they're still stuck under the heel of Victorians in their minds. They're shadowboxing a lot of trauma. I understand it, however, we're getting nowhere. Like, the city will eat itself alive before the Terran peoples thrive. Also, Nemo's, don't be foolish, Kulan. Nemo's cry is drowned out by the crowd's yells, but Kulan's voice remains clear for all to hear. Lashini thinks of rushing over to him, but the angry crowd blocks her path. She bites her lip and tries to open a path through the sea of people with both her flames and voice, shouting to attract their attention. Unfortunately, they act as if they have already lost their senses. Maybe they truly have, who can say?
I'm going to destroy this statue in order to return the lives it took from you.
Destroy it? How dare you?
I remember what each and every bone was forged from. I'll turn its spine back into axe heads and blades, its ribs back to bowls, its skull into tables and chairs, and give them back to all of you.
Traitor! How could a hero like you betray us like this? Brother, it's just a statue. It's an inanimate object. It doesn't mean anything. It used to be bowls, pots, pans, axes, and tables, dog. Just because it changed form doesn't change what it is.
Being unwilling to take someone else's livelihood makes me a traitor. Then I was never a hero, but a traitor all along.
How's he so cool? Brother, you're aura farming in the middle of a chaotic crowd! What are you doing here, doing sweet one-liners that might or might not get you killed? I don't know, man. You don't seem playable character material so far. I don't know if you have that kind of plot armor.
Excuses!
Excuses? I'll tell you who Kalan really is. He's no hero. He's a liar who hungered for fame.
Oh, are we gonna find out that he lied about taking on that Victorian scouting party in the woods? That's the reason why they gave him the title hero anyway, because he's like, oh, Kulan intercepted some Victorian spies in the forest. That's how we found Theo.
He claimed to have killed a squad of Victorian scouts in the dark woods. And it wasn't in the woods that he met those Victorians, but somewhere further away. They weren't even scouts, just a band of poor traders, already trampled over by some army or other. He wanted to save them, but in the end, he could only save one boy, a Victorian child. Didn't know what to do. Be it out of desperation or vanity, he decided to cut their heads off. Tell people they were scouts. That way, he'd become a hero, the most prestigious person in town. Thought he could use that status for good. Raising the boy would become an act of mercy by the benevolent hero.
You lied to us?
Even this poor liar knew that he was still a blacksmith, and thought he should learn his trade after the war. You lot. What about you?
You're not Kulan. You're a fake, pretending to be him.
Okay.
Yeah, you're not Kulan. He's our hero. The man of steel who even a Victorian squad couldn't handle. Who the bloody hell are you?
Oh boy.
After dragging the statue all the way here from my workshop, how much longer do you expect me to live?
Fresh blood gushes from Kalan's mouth and nose as if he just uttered his last words. He bears an almost kind and expectant gaze as he looks at his compatriots surrounding him, hoping their faces will reveal an expression other than hate. But he feels as if his eyes meet only a sea of purple flames. The faces behind the fire are difficult to discern, as if they are the restless dead he met in those ruins outside long, long ago. He looks into the distance. In a corner at the edge of the square, he sees a tiny figure. He did not have time to look for Theo's corpse, but now it stares at him blankly. Purple flames clearly visible around it.
Is he gonna be... Oh my god. Eblana! Are you gonna desecrate the body of this child?
Theo, you too? This was all for naught.
Lon stumbles to his feet and picks up his hammer to swing. The crowd stares at him with dread, fearing that the hammer will fall on their heads, but they do not back down. Kalan uses the last of his strength, and with the utmost ferocity, he strikes the dragon's head, as if sounding a death knell. The hero's body collapses before the giant dragon, stunning the crowd as if they've lost something. Lashini's voice finally spreads as her fire burns like a sunset set aflame, but she fails to attract any attention. At that very moment, the statue suddenly bursts into purple flames, along with Kalan lying silently before it, sending the crowd reflexively into retreat. Within the fire, Kalan begins to pick himself up, while the giant statue extends its wings as if to fly away. When Kalan gets fully to his feet, the dragon statue flaps its huge wings, lifts off, and lands on the empty pedestal in the center of the square prepared just for it.
Eblana, the fuck you doing? No one called you.
The crowd watches in complete silence, the whether out of shock or reverence is unclear. From the citadel come the faintly discernible sounds of footsteps, slow and too late. Truly a shame that I missed the only hero left in this city. Well then, people of Nezeru, your hero has sacrificed his life for the statue. Nightfall approaches, so if you still follow the Red Dragon's will, then you will obey curfew and head home.
Mysterious woman, we're back to the storytelling session at the start of the event. Who, we're assuming this is Eblana, because she's the only one who could have had the knowledge to actually tell this story.
Lon uses the last of his strength, and with utmost ferocity he strikes the dragon's head as if sounding a death knell. You're quite the fan of Kalan, I see. A tragic ending, but your embellishments made it beautiful.
You flatter me. I only ever met the blacksmith a few times. He was the first victim of the city's chaos, if you don't count Theo.
Actually, I'm rather curious about something. The Dubliners who walked into the darkness, did they also bear the purple flames you mentioned?
Unless, of course, there's only 3 people that I'm suspecting could be this mysterious woman. Eblana, most of all, number 1. Reed, number 2. But also, the secret third option is that it's Tallulah. That's my guess.
Based on your story so far, I believe they would have. Corruption, smuggling, abuse of authority. They had many plans for the future.
If you thought about it too much, you could have probably come up with your own ending by now.
That was not the only incident to occur in the city. You said it yourself. He was but the first victim.
Oh, great! More deaths to come.
Though if you insist on ending this here.
The Red Dragon was certain those infected by the flames of death could not be saved. And so she's declared to her people that the land would become death's domain,
and they would become her followers, accompanying her on a journey towards death.
The corpse-like masses no longer had the strength to either consent or refuse. That night, flames rose high into the sky, illuminating the fields, and since then, no one has ever seen the Red Dragon or her followers again. Is that the ending that we truly want for this story? Nah, dog. We have like a dozen chapters left.
Ugh.
What is it?
Nothing. You could go now.
There's obviously something.
Since then, no one's ever seen the Red Dragon. Really?
The author glances towards a tavern wall covered in newspapers no one has touched. Today's paper is there too, with a photo of the leader, gracing the headlines. It declares she is currently in Oak Grove for some ceremony or the other. I feel like we're gonna end off this event with Reed taking over. They're saying, the leader. The leader is still in charge of Dublin? The city seems to still be intact somehow. They're hidden in the woods. No one knows of the second Red Dragon.
Also, accompanying her on a journey to death. When did that happen?
Stories are free to go where they please.
Free, sure, but that doesn't mean we get to twist the tale beyond recognition and laugh it off.
Why ever not?
Because you and I, we're Terrans. Our stories will reflect us no matter how distorted they become.
Oh, you still regard yourself as Terran?
I've been a Terran since the very first time I read the line penned by Seamus Williams. Why else would I have abandoned the warm armchairs of Catshire County's literature salon and run all the way to Tara and become a...
You still regard yourself as a Terran? An extremely ominous thought flashes through the writer's mind, but he immediately rejects it. He looks at the newspapers again. The papers report only facts, even if they are edited.
I'll just go ahead and ask. Who sent you?
I'm here under no one's orders. As you put it, I'm simply an interested reader who wishes to help you piece together the truth.
Can you prove it?
Now there's a conundrum. It'd be simple enough to prove someone did send me, but the opposite. How do I prove someone's non-existence? The author takes another gulp of beer. Despondently gripping his head, he knows it is too late to run. But he can still turn things around. He just has to be clever about it.
Rolled it over and over. You're right. It's just a story. I suppose I was a tad nervous. Apologies.
You do have quite a few unfinished tales as well. Perhaps we could join them together and find an ending true to both Nasarisi as it was, and the Tara in your heart. So if you're ready, then for the next story, how about we talk about the dance in the mirror?
The dance in the mirror? What?
No, this was not a matter of cleverness. As long as he is prudent and lets the shadow of the story cast by firelight rise and warp, he will definitely be fine. Act 2, Electric Boogaloo. That old dance.
Once there was a red dragon of pride.
Mr. Voice Actor
who
is back.
Snubbed all companions, talking only to herself in the mirror from time to time. Once at Samhain, she was to host a grand banquet, and her mirrored self was to help. But the two could not appear together before the guests, or the reflection would perish. The reflection had no choice but to obey the dragon's will. She went and fetched the wakeman for the banquet. The wakeman rejected their invitation and told the reflection to desert. Still, the reflection returned to the lair on her own, only to find the banquet had already begun. The reflection hurried to hide in darkness beyond the bonfire. As the banquet went on, the guests somehow began to vanish, one by one, and the red dragon found and dragged her mirrored self out of the darkness, forcing the reflection to dance with her. The two kept dancing, so relentlessly that the reflection could not feel her toes. She asked for a little rest, but the red dragon was never satisfied.
I do appreciate that we have voice acting for this chapter. We have the technology now in 2025. However, 16 million in revenue just from this event alone on global, and we could only afford it for every other chapter? Not the entire thing? I don't know, Hypergriff. The technology is apparently here now. Can we have fully voiced events sooner or later? Here, Lashini. The book you wanted. The sequel to the Steam Knights adventures. Flashback? Why, you ask? Do I need a reason to do something for my beloved sister? Oh. Flashback! Small Eblana. But do you really need to read it? Do you really need to read a book you have no interest in at all, but feel pressured by others our age to read? I do want to read it. Didn't you tell father you didn't want anyone asking you why Victorian wouldn't enjoy stories about the Steam Knights? This book, did dad ask you to buy it for me? Why do you ask? Because how did you know? You're backing away from me, Lashini. I don't want you to be scared of me like everyone else. I don't know, man. This is a creepy-ass child. No, If me knowing what you told father is so scary, how about we dance together to calm you down, A dance? Really? Why not? With those words, Eblana gracefully extends a hand towards her sister. But in Lashini's memories, even when her parents put on their favorite music, even when father shook his head to the melody, even when mother tapped her fingers to the beat, her sister would only sit perfectly still while bearing icy smile. She had never moved her body to any tune, not even once. Once you can keep up with me, you'll no longer have to worry about any book, requests, or even friends our age. The unopened night novel falls to the ground, and the pleasant new book smell is drowned by muddy water. She was still young then. She never imagined that achieving her desires could feel so heavy and bitter. So she only remembers stumbling, turning away, ignoring what was reaching out to her. A soft, cold hand. Lashini, the crowd is gone. You no longer need to hide your identity. Do you still think of them as alive even now? I don't know, man. Because of your purple flames, they do seem more living dead than living. I only know that every tyrant's heart burns with a similar flame. That ever since our ancestors first bent the knee to the Victorians, that flame has never gone out. That goes for all the townsfolk, as well as those who followed me back here. They all have the same fire, except that theirs has never been tainted by the shade of death. What a wonderful analogy, Lashini. Then let me ask you again. What will you do? Dye these flames in your own hue? I imagine you must have tried already. Yeah, people freaked out. No matter who they are, once tainted by death, your flames can only render them into ash. So I have a proposal, Lashini. Kill me. I do not believe that's where we're going. You're a playable character. You are not dying. Come on, dog. How many times do we have to play this song and dance? Playable characters do not die because this is a gacha game first. We gotta get parasocial over living characters. And everyone in the city as well. If it bothers you how this will be recorded in history, then you could just say that I killed them,
and that you were merely laid them to rest. The people of Nezeru are still alive, even if what animates their bodies is not life but death. If they were truly devoid of even the faintest spark of life, they would have long since become one of those hollow, shambling corpses you have wandering about. Oh, they will, eventually. No, they won't. I'd rather see the purple flames in them as a plague, one instigated by you. And you plan to find the cure for it? That's right. I want to cure you as well, Ablana. How wonderful. Wonderful. Yes, that's absolutely wonderful. Did you not notice? You aren't trying to run from me anymore. You're trying to cure me of all things. Come, dance with me, Lashini. The same dance I've always invited you to. The one you always ran from. What did you say? I asked you to dance with me. But before the final bar, be sure to pierce my heart with your spear. This plague is lethal and there is no cure. I do not question your resolve, but your efforts will be in vain.
About that, we kinda left the spear behind at Rhodes Island. I'm not sure there's a delivery service that could do it that quickly.
You've run from your fate long enough.
Also, a delivery service that could get through the dark woods.
From Nezeru's fate, and ours too. It is not yet Samhain, but the boundary between life and death is more ambiguous than it has been in all of Terran history. Do you truly wish for Tyra to become a kingdom of death?
Lashini subconsciously turns her head away. The fierce purple flame still rages in the skeleton the hero dragged all the way here. Plan, now taken over by the purple flames, briefly stands up before sinking back down to kneel. Eblana's probably the most misunderstood villain in Arknights. By the fandom? Yes. Because the fandom's full of gooners, and they can't think beyond, ooh! Scary purple lady, sexy, humana humana! But also, Eblana's been cursed with the purple flame since their birth. It's not exactly a bragging moment when you go up and show and tell in class and you're like, what's so special about you, Eblana? Well, I'm a Draco. I'm descended from the original rulers of Victoria. Also, my flames bring people back to life. And also kinda eat away at the life of living people. Not exactly a genetic composition that you're happy to have been born with, and it might and definitely did fuck with her psyche. It's like, she didn't ask to be born with these flames, but also, she did use them to liberate the Terran people. However, despite freeing the Terran people from Victorian subjugation, Eblana's still kinda like, well, my flames are kinda fucked up. I don't know what I can do about this. So she's like, let's get my sister. She probably has the complete opposite of my flames. I want to rage bait my sister into killing me so I could fulfill my role as a villain of this story and peace out into the sunset. But because she's a playable character, we have to keep her alive, by the way. We gotta get parasocial over living characters. So, my theory at the end of all this has remained the same, is that Reed, because no one else knows that there's a second Red Draco, she's gonna take over, leading the Terran nation, and Eblana's just gonna peace out and somehow find herself unemployed on Rhodes Island. That's the clear pathway that we're headed here. She's rage baiting her sister to try to kill her, but somehow we're gonna find a way to not kill her because we can't kill playable characters. And we get to have our pie, our two cakes, and eat both of them. We get to have a nuanced villain in Eblana who liberated the Terran people, but also scary purple dragon waifu that people can goon over. She cannot bear another look at him. So she turns her gaze back to her sister's eyes and the hand that she's been offered for so many years. It is unclear if it is her imagination or a side effect of the purple flames depriving everything they touch of vitality, but the hand before her seems so pale and bloodless compared to the one in her memories. Reed seems kinda autistic to be a leader, so Banana just took things to her own hands. I think both of them had fucked upbringings, considering the Dracos. The Dracos should have been living low-key amongst the Victorians, especially in current-day Victoria. They both had fucked upbringings, and people telling them, you two are destined for great things because you're born as Dracos. You two have special fires that would liberate Tara. We're gonna tell you stories about the great Dracos and the Aslins and whatnot, and that kind of fucked up with their upbringings. We speak of a city in the lives of countless people, Ablana. You cannot sum up this matter as simple as fate. Are you finished? I believe we've spent enough time talking past each other. Ablana! Oh, but feel free to continue. If you so desire, I shall wait here as long as you need me to. But do try not to take too long. You can afford to wait, yet that may not be true for the others. Breathes deeply. You're right. You can afford to wait, but that may not be true for the others. Alright, I'll dance your dance, until one of us falls and can dance no more. But I will not follow your lead. Absolutely not. That's also character development that we've had with Lushini. Over her own event. She had a whole ass event where Lushini became more independent and rose from her sister's shadow. She established Dublin 2, Electric Boogaloo. Because their upbringing has been kind of fucked up. Ablana, as a kid, has always been this fucked up. Especially as a child, she's like, oh, you want to read this? Why don't you just be my shadow instead? You don't need to read, you don't need to think, be my shadow. Even as a kid, she was kind of fucked up. As you please. Though you seem to have misunderstood something, my dear Lushini. The one who cannot afford to wait is standing before you now. Meanwhile, Ulan just still kneeling in the background. Cannot afford to wait. Lushini scrutinizes her sister's face as she suddenly realizes something entirely unrelated to their conversation. Also, where's Grandpappy in all of this? Where the fuck did that deadbeat run off to? Evlana brought him back to life, and he's just peaced out after taunting both of them? Where the fuck is he? The offered hand is indeed pale, and it is not just her imagination. Purple flames seem to weave together into an omnipresent cloak, giving Ablana her beautiful yet terrifying appearance. Yet they also fail to conceal the malady which seems to consume her beneath her pale white skin. She shouldn't be like this. She was never like this before. Ablana always hated that Lushini was overly passive and kinda broken. That one Eric Andre meme of shooting the guy in the chair and then, who could possibly have done this? Man, I hate how my sister's kinda passive and broken and dependent on me. I wonder who did this. Ablana, are you? You. Are you alright, sister? A smile spreads across Ablana's face. The same old, ice-cold smile is always found there. This time it seems to bear some warmth, and this only highlights her conspicuous paleness. I appreciate your concern, really I do. After all those apathetic partings and painful reunions, to only now hear you asking if I'm well, it has been truly so long. Incidentally, I really do want to dance with you. I will, once I find a way to heal you. Very well, then I shall await you here. Ablana strides towards the citadel, her footsteps so faint that they seem almost frail. Brigid.
Phew. Ooh. Red Dragon! Nemos! There was no one at the gates when I got back. I thought something must have happened. What's going on in the square?
A lot of things. You need the rundown?
Red Dragon, what's that?
Lashini is holding a small box in her arms. Dim night lights seem to make it harder than usual to see.
I couldn't save Kulan.
Oh, we just confirming that Kulan died? Bro? Gotta kill them nondescript NPCs to raise the stakes. I can suss out whether an NPC has the vibes to become playable in the future. I'm sorry, Kulan. You gave cannon fodder since the start of this event.
This was the only way for him to rest in peace, so he'd no longer have to suffer from the flames in the square.
The nomad is silent for a long time until she finds a stone on the ground. She hurls it with all her strength towards the citadel. But the darkness of the night swallows it up, and it fails to even make a sound.
It's already past curfew. Nemos, Brigid, let's just... No.
Nemos reaches out to the wooden box as if trying to brush non-existent dust off the lid. She suddenly recalls being rejected by her own people a few days ago, the superfluous words she heard then.
The Wakemen do not stand with the living, nor do we require their reverence, until of course they are dead. That is a tradition Dublin should be honoring. Still, I'm grateful you were at least willing to give this a whistle. I'll be going now. Wait, Nemos. You knew well that Samhain approaches and the Wakemen would be lacking sacred instruments, yet you still came. Did the Dubliners force you to? No, I came here on my own accord. Nemos, you haven't changed one bit. You wait, mediate, and reconcile, and you're also like this in Nezeru, see? Do you also serve the Red Dragon like this? I just don't want to see a situation that could be improved deteriorate any further, where people could have cooperated fighting each other. If conflict is inevitable, you will only ever sink deeper into the mire. The city has tainted you with its darkness, Nemos.
Lashini was always like that, didn't care about power since childhood. The dragons measure its sickness isn't. And two dragons couldn't coexist because of the power struggle. They got a lot of baggage. They both grew up with a lot of baggage. Two Dracos cannot exist. Meanwhile, Tallulah.
So the leader, the Red Dragon, Blana will never give Nezeru true life. Is that right, Lashini? She said she couldn't. She actually doesn't like to lie unless there are other circumstances. She's the leader of Tara, the one and only Red Dragon. What could possibly be tying her hands? What's wrong, Nemos? You seem different. I get it. I finally get it, Your Highness Lashini. It seems that the fire can in fact infect the living. Nemos? The people I once depended on turned out to be a swarm of selfish parasites. The leader I once believed in turned out to be an evil dragon who doesn't care if anyone else lives or dies. The people I once put my life on the line to protect became the reason my closest friend died. Can't even imagine what they would have done to him if that wicked dragon hadn't lit him up with her flames. Blon was right to ask what we would do once Samhain is over. What should I do? Other than revenge, there's nothing left for me either.
There's always joining Rhodes Island. Whoa, that's a purple flame. That's not looking good. As she utters these words, Lashini sees a flame ignite within the final Nezeru, left untainted by the purple fire.
Your Highness, will you regard me the same as the rest of the residents? A servant of Ablana? No. This deadly disease, it is ultimately infected,
even the last person in the city? If so, your highness, then I swear to you that I will aid you in this dance that's been forced upon you. Until the very end. Until the wicked dragon falls. I've heard your vow. Now I must leave the city for a while. Come with me, Nemos. To the Wakeman? I have no hope of curing the flame here, so I thought we could seek aid from anyone who might be able to help. No, I can't go with you. I have no right to be there anymore. I'll stay in the city, as long as the Red Dragon doesn't realize what's going on and tears me apart. I'll try to keep the situation from deteriorating. Though I'd appreciate it if you could return this whistle for me. And Kulan too. Please give him a proper funeral. A proper funeral requires elegies from friends and family, so I'll write one. Could you read it for me there? All right. Here, it's done. I'll go with Reed. The dark woods aren't letting anyone in or out, but it should be smoother with us two. No, Bridget. You should stay here too. I need your help. Reed? I'll be fine by myself. That works, but Nemos, you're so different now. I guess this is what vengeance does to a person.
Not looking good. Not looking good whatsoever. Maybe the Wakemen have something to help out. Is there no other way to heal Eblana and the people? Of course there's gonna be a fucking way. We left the spear on Rhodes Island. They've set it up since the very beginning. Eblana's not gonna die. Banana took Shinny under her protection and tried to fix her, but Shinny fixed herself anyway, so... yeah. These two sisters have to hash things out without any more people dying. Please and thank you. We can't have just liberated the Terran people from the Victorians just for them to rot away with the purple flames. We gotta find a way. EA-5, drowned in fire. Also, water break. Ooh, the spooky woods. Time to follow up. What's the deal with the spooky woods? Either there are fairies in this forest, living vegetables, some other spooky shit, or it's a fair myth. These woods are alive somehow. Alive with what? Still no idea. I guess we're gonna try to confront it somehow.
Was that another trick of the shadows? This isn't the right way. I'm going in circles. I can't see the sky. How long has it been? How far do I still have to go? Well, I'm in the dark woods at least. The mist and noise Bridget was talking about didn't keep me out. Tricky fae, shadows pointing the wrong way, foul beasts that trip you with their branches. That's all more or less the same when I was bringing Morn and the others back. The trees are too tall, the leaves too thick. They block out the sky, making life here different from outside. This is the right path. I'm at the heart of the dark woods now. The scenery seems different from before. Where did the red and gold autumn go? Why does it look like this?
Oh, the mist!
The black mist! So the woods are rejecting me after all?
Lashini grabs her weapon tightly. If Nemos was right and Dublin never returned after leaving the city, then they were almost likely swallowed by the mist. But it shows no sign of aggression, it simply lingers.
Does it reject me? No, it's closer to indifference. Disappointment? Why?
There is no answer except the rustling of leaves. Lashini shakes her head and cautiously goes around the mist. Can you even go around the mist? It's like everywhere. All at once. Choosing a path that looks like it has light at the end, the mist remains indifferent to her passage.
The Fae that delight in leading travelers astray are nowhere to be seen.
Is it the Fae? Is it a Farenmit? Is it a unicorn? Why are these woods so spooky?
Another dead end. No time to waste here. I'm sorry, but I'll have to burn a way through.
You're overthinking it.
Oh, the woods can speak?
Who's there?
Oh. Deadbeat Grandpappy. There you are! Where the fuck were you this entire time? Deadbeat of a grandfather. Just piecing in and out whenever you want. Come back with milk next time.
Take a guess.
How could it be? You're that gentleman from the city. I wanted to ask you something, but you...
Indeed, hardly the most amicable of partings. Since then, I've been following, watching you for a while now. Consider it my way of reflecting on myself. I'll admit you're not quite what I thought. This time is no time for small talk. Do not burn the trees. Should be enough to illuminate them with your fire. See for yourself what they really are.
What they really are? The leaves are razor sharp, the brambles are hard, and the branches have a metallic gleam. What is this?
That's not important. What's important is that your fire can't burn through it.
Metallic gleam? Hold up.
Now follow me. Hurry before the black mist changes its mind. We can talk later, but if that thing is in a bad mood, there won't be anything left to bury when it's done with you.
That thing? Can't you stop talking in nouns and proper nouns? Just tell us what it is. Deadbeat grandfather.
Isn't that a dead end?
Why do you put so much faith in what you see? Just listen and move.
You'd argue Blana was also neurodivergent? Both of them didn't exactly have the best social upbringing. So yes, they're both neurodivergent in ways that a socially adjusted Victorian person that doesn't have to struggle through Terran discrimination has to go through. Yes.
This is the path I took when we first came to Nezeru. So this is where those trails lead. If you don't mind me asking, are you in the Forest Fae?
Don't be ridiculous. I have nothing to do with them. The woods, though, centuries have passed, and it's hardly changed at all other than black mist. Ruins the view, really.
We'll be out of the dark woods soon. Now could you...
Tisk, tisk, tisk. This is really...
What's happening?
Look behind you.
Oh! It's Dubliners 2, Electric Boogaloo. They're safe and sound. They weren't tainted by the purple flames because they were with the Wakemen.
Reed!
Reed, we're here!
Oh, we made it to the Wakemen. The refugees appear on the well-lit edge of the woods.
What happened to the city? It's like the black mist got angry the moment you entered it, cutting it off from the outside. It's been days since anyone went into the dark woods. A few people were hunting on the outskirts when they heard sounds from within and saw what looked like fire. Whenever something similar happened before, the Wakemen told us not to approach the woods. This time, though, we recognize your fire. We could hardly ignore it. You shouldn't have come. It's dangerous here. Then you shouldn't have either, not on your own. We all learned our lesson of letting you go off alone after waiting for you in the marshes outside Londinium. We trust you, so please, trust us back. Thank you. You're welcome. Let's go back to camp. Mm-hmm. Sir, would you...
Oh, peacing out yet again. My work here is done.
Who are you talking to? Is there someone else with you?
The red dragon turns around, but her uninvited companion has already vanished without a trace, like the dew under the morning sun.
Thank you for providing refuge for these people. Nemo's entrusted them to us. We simply did our part. On behalf of the Wakemen, I promise that we will not reveal your existence to anyone unaware. And you have seen with your own eyes that your people are safe. Now, it is time for you to leave.
I don't think it's time to let them into the city just yet. Until we solve the situation with the flames.
What do you mean? Is she not welcome here? Neither are your people, Morin. Whenever two red dragons meet, endless conflict awaits. If you insist on involving yourselves in it, then we could no longer offer you sanctuary.
How could you?
This is how we have always been. The Wakemen neither start nor end conflicts. The disputes of the living are not our concern. We watch only the souls of the departed. If you are truly the noble and compassionate leader Morin imagines you to be, you will not drag these innocents into your battle, Red Dragon. This isn't a battle between two red dragons. I came to seek your help on behalf of the people of Nezeru. Every battle has its reasons. It's not an excuse. Reed wouldn't do that. Excuse or not, disputes of the living are not of our concern. A hard-learned lesson whose bitter fruits we continue to taste to this day. Now leave. What if I'm here to ask you to hold a funeral? Funeral? In that case, the Wakemen will welcome you, but for that, and only that. Now tell me the name of the departed, their deeds in life. Present the remains. His name was Kalan. He was a blacksmith. Kalan? How did he die? The purple flames of death took both his life and will. Not even my flames can help him now. Then why is it that not a single denizen of Nezeru has come to us with a request of funeral since the city became independent? So it transpires that the first Nezeru to be mourned since the end of the war was not taken by war at all.
Can we get a joint funeral between Kulan and Theo? Bro?
So I weave the straw into a ring like this. Yes, then adorn it with flowers and the wreath is complete. I remember when the farmers put a wreath on your head praying for a good harvest next year.
Feels like old times. I miss it.
Are you not happy here? I rather enjoy myself, but the others might find it stifling.
The life of a Wakeman is almost like self-punishment after all. What's the word for it again? Asceticism? Asceticism. No alcohol, no overeating, no fancy foods. Can't even laugh too loud. They wake up before sunrise and sleep before midnight. Everything in between is some ritual or the other. At least they don't expect the same from us. There's no avoiding them when we have to help them out on farms and stuff. I've practically forgotten how to laugh. Oren's the only one who goes out of her way to talk to them. She's learning something new every day. Might be how to tie certain knots. Might be how to estimate the age of a tree.
Compared to the Wakemen in tales, though. Your Highness. Ma'am. I did not expect you to find you here working with them.
Rita's always been like this.
Should we excuse ourselves? No, I simply came to confirm the facts of the departed's life for the purpose of the ritual. Please tell me, what happened to Kulan?
I will tell you all that I saw as I saw it. I hope it makes you feel something.
Maybe through this funeral, we could gain some brownie points with the Wakemen. And maybe we could find out if there's any way to cleanse the flames. Maybe, just maybe. Ooh! Back at the Citadel. I'm Commander Shepard, and this is my favorite elevator on the Citadel.
I've already dismissed all the servants in the Citadel. These footsteps, then.
Grandpappy. No, it's you! You're still here! You didn't follow the rest of them into the woods! I'm surprised you're still alive.
Your Highness.
Ah, it's you. Did you need something?
You aren't going to ask how I returned.
Oh! You did follow them into the dark woods. And it spat you out.
No, I won't. You came back and that's all that matters, my loyal servant. Besides, I have a fairly good idea of what sort of guest you could bring me. Has the curfew started?
Just now.
Then you could say that my orders have been followed.
Oh. Hold up. Mysterious figure in the dark. The mist has a voice, by the way.
Failure.
Failure? The Sarisi is here. I'm here. What failure?
Escape.
The deadline is Samhain. Surely the Black Mist remembers this, even if it's hardly known for being a good listener.
Fuck you mean there's a deadline? You know more than you let on, Eblana.
What deadline?
Unsurprising. Disappointing. Unacceptable.
Am I meant to understand something from these few words? Or perhaps you, too, prefer the directness of art and destruction to the imprecision of language.
No sooner do the words leave Eblana's lips than gleaming branches thrust forth from the dark mist, reaching for her throat. Wait, the dark mist can reach out this deep into the city? At the same time, her spear penetrates the mist. Purple fire is faintly visible from within.
She could burn it away to nothingness with a thought.
But the branches never find Eblana's throat, and her purple flames never ignite.
Samhain. By the time the sun rises on the day after Samhain, the outcome will be plain for all to see. So why don't we dispense with these meaningless bluffs?
Eblana's spear still impales the mist, but the branches before her throat disappear a moment later, as do the flames at the tip of her spear. The dark mist dissipates.
Your Highness.
You're still here? Did you need something else? Is this about Dublin? There are only the two of us here. I will permit you to speak that word again, my most loyal servant.
Thank you, but there is no need. Spectres are but spectres, even if they helped found a nation. There's no place for ghosts in the history books. But I worry about the colleagues who stayed behind that day, as I did. Or are they? They mean you harm.
No need to worry. Even if they were, that is no reason for you to risk staying here.
I saw a scene of chaos on my way back. It's bedlam. People were fighting over the tiniest things. Sometimes nothing at all, while others seemed to be stuck where they stood like statues. Just like the specters who fought the Victorians with us. Will they fade into darkness too? This is Nezeru, the Red Dragon's lair, the capital of Tara. Anything that happens here will have repercussions across the nation.
No, it won't. You don't sound convinced.
Your Highness, at the end of the day, I have just one question. One question I pray you will answer.
Very well. I will forgive your imprudence. Hold up. Just gotta make sure we're after operation.
Your Highness Ablana, that future you promised Dublin, you promised Tara, that future where all Terrans could freely write their own dreams. Was it all a lie?
The Brigadier cannot stop himself from trembling. The fear that had lurked in his heart for days overcomes him. It is not because he fears his own end. He's not afraid of being swallowed by the dark mist like his colleagues, or of invoking the Red Dragon's wrath. He fears that he will hear an answer he dare not consider. It was true, every word of it.
Your Highness,
I've answered your question, Brigadier. The Red Dragon's voice seems ethereal, feeble even, but it leaves no room for questioning. It is the voice that has led the man to victory countless times, and so he slowly straightens his back.
then I trust you.
Perhaps, or perhaps, you simply have no other choice.
Often have you chosen a path that seemed baffling, impossible even, but it always ends up leading us closer to our dream. Of that, I have no doubt.
Such deep trust is indeed worthy of my gratitude. However, I do not require you to maintain order, Nezeru. If you manage to return from the Dark Woods, then you should return there now.
Until Samhain has passed?
Until Samhain has passed. Or... I stepped into the Dark Woods one morn, calling to the mists of horror.
Your Highness?
Do you hear the song coming from beyond the woods? Hardly a day has passed since you left. Fine work, Lashini. What's she yapping about? Is that what's been happening in the city? Reed, your sister, what is she planning? I don't know. Someone once told me that her plans would only ever be beneficial to Tara. Now though, I can trust neither her nor the one who made that promise.
Are you still not going to help her, Wake Woman?
Smiling Ablana is always healing to your soul. I'm not one to judge people's fucked up kinks. I'm glad she sparks joy for you in a freaky way. She came for a funeral, and we will only accept her for that. I've learned of the deeds of the departed. Bring the knots and wreaths and come outside. The funeral is about to begin. The people set aside their differences and stand up in silence. My guy Kulan needs to be buried alongside Theo. Both of them need a joint funeral. I stepped into the dark woods one morn, falling to the mists of horror. I trod upon the road heading out to war. No pipes a singing, nor battle drums a roar. Only the bells behind me, where dew and fog their rings do soar. The wakemen sing softly, each attending to their own duty. Oh, it's a funeral song. Some adorn the coffin with knots and wreaths. Some lay firewood and kindling around it. Some distribute candles to the attending refugees as they continue to sing. Tiny lights begin to sway throughout the camp. Lashini has a candle too, which she carefully lifts in front of her chest.
Excuse me.
Go ahead.
I didn't know the departed, and don't really have much to say. But where I grew up, people talked freely at funerals.
Certainly. This is how Terrans honor the departed. Life should be celebrated, even after its end. The joy of the living is consolation to the dead. You are free to talk amongst each other.
I also made some snacks. Please feel free to share them. We will provide refreshments later. However, we must request that you exercise restraint, considering that Mr. Kulan died before his time and under unfortunate circumstances.
Between a Blana smile and a Lapland smile, who would I choose? Lapland's. Lapipi. For me, Lapipi's smile brings joy to the heart, in a freaky way. We must also ask you to follow our instructions during the fire returning ceremony.
Understood. Is this how you folks hold your funerals, Morin?
We didn't have all these rites and ceremonies. All we did was keep watch through the night. No clue what this fire returning thing is either.
Guess we just follow their instructions. Have you ever been a part of a ceremony like this, Reed?
Shakes head.
I see.
Meanwhile, back at the Citadel.
You mean...
Lashini has found the Wakemen. The hero's funeral has begun. I stepped into the dark woods one morn, calling to the mists of horror. I trod upon the road heading out to war. Do you know of this song?
You already know the answer. I led the young into battle with it more than a few times.
Who is it? Who's singing?
Why is it that I still hear that song here at the side of the old capital, even after escaping the dark woods? Or am I still stuck in the woods? Wait, these motherfuckers aren't dead? I thought they were eaten by the woods. No, the sound is coming from the furnace at the center of the ruins. Such a beautiful tune. No pipes a singing, nor battle drums a roar. Only the bells behind me. Through dew and fog, their rings do soar. I should go back. Now I see what I truly want. Besides, do I really deserve to escape Nasari's sea?
Confirmed, at least one guy aside from Brigadier survived. I don't think the others made it out of the woods though.
Here, Emma, today's bread. Thanks for sharing your food in times like these.
You shared it with me before. Just returning the favor.
My man, the Rizzler. Even in times as tough as these. But why do you keep staring at the bread in my hand like that?
Control yourself. Control yourself. She's Emma, the one who shared bread with you. You must help her. You must. I'm fine, Emma. I just meant to say you've been bedridden for too long. There'll be tough times up ahead.
Don't let the purple flames take over, dog. You gotta aura farm even if you're starving. You gotta keep up. You gotta keep up the looks. Even when you're starving, don't give in to the ghastly purple flames whispering in your ear that you're starving. No pipes a singing, nor battle drums a roar.
Why are you singing like that?
Someone's singing in the distance.
They could hear it all the way from the capital.
Friends of the departed, please present your eulogy before the fire returning ceremony begins. Reed, I have a eulogy here, written by Nemos. May I read it? Of course, go ahead. Dear Kulan, a letter? Kulan, perhaps it won't be long before I join you.
Lan, perhaps it won't be long before I join you. Before I become a slave of the purple flame. Before I turn to ash. Perhaps there won't be anyone to free me from the afterlife of eternal torment. But I've never forgotten what you said to me. You said you wanted to be a hero. You asked me to let you become one. You said Nezeru needed a hero for the post-war days. One who belonged only to us, neither Dublin nor soldier. You said that nearly everyone in the city had lost something important to them in the war, be it a partner, child, or future. Without a hero, an exemplar to extend them and fight for their rights, one who could set them right should they go astray. Without that, they wouldn't have anything to hold on to when the war ends, when they have no one left to hate. I agreed and assented to your request. You took Theo in and helped the people who'd lost their livelihoods. You thought everything was on the right path, so you proposed a statue. You became fully immersed and took on a great burden. By the time you fully realized, it was too late. Now it is my turn to carry this burden, one too heavy for any single person to bear.
Love to think that the Blana summons her Sims and she would be like, "You are fish now," and they're transformed into fish. I don't know, if I was a Walking Dead, I would be like, "Kill me, end me."
Now it is almost my turn to carry this burden, one too heavy for any single person to bear. Farewell, Kulan. Slan Leat. Or should I say, Slan Gofoili.
I'm sorry that my Irish is bad. I don't know. I should educate myself on the Irish language a bit more. Is it Irish or Gaelic? I've always appreciated the Irish and Gaelic languages from afar. They sound really weird compared to the other Anglo-Saxon languages, but I don't know, there's a charm to them. It's a shame that the United Kingdom had to do a bit of pogroms. Just a bit of pogroms to expand the British nation.
May we meet again in the warm flames.
As she finishes, a flame is thrown into the kindling surrounding the coffin, igniting the firewood. The crowd gathers around the bonfire, following the instructions of the wakeman.
Witness that the departed has found peace in the flames. He shall no longer wander the mortal realm. Place your candle as close to the fire as possible, or throw it in directly. Return the fire to the departed. If you have anything to say to the departed, say it aloud to the flame. Be it praise or reproach, they are the memories that will console the departed at journey's end. Once you have returned to the fire, please remain to keep watch over his soul until the fire has gone out. Let us begin. Slan Leat, may you find rest, stranger, deceiver, and hero.
Morin bends down and places her candle by the fire. The licking flames swallow it in an instant, almost burning her hand.
Do you want to come closer to the fire, Reed? If there's anyone here who doesn't deserve to pay respects to Kalan, it would be me. You couldn't have saved him. Morin? There was no place for him in the Red Dragon's lair from the moment he made the choice to truly become a hero. You should return the fire to him. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Let the dead rest with our memories as life goes on. Return the fire. Let the dead rest with our memories as life goes on.
Oh? A light bulb of a spark? Did she figure something out?
While Lashini is lost in thought, the others continue to return their fire and then sit down some distance from the bonfire, till she's the only one left with a candle in her hand. She walks forward in silence and tosses the candle into the blazing bonfire. The dead are gone. All their ambition, obsession, and realization and desperation turn to fading smoke and silent ash in the flames. EA-6, The Lost. Will this path truly lead me to him? Who is him? Who is he, him?
So if you won't go to the city, even to perform a returning ceremony, what you've described is highly unusual. We cannot simply take your word that the residents are no longer among the living. Besides, the fire returning ceremony is just that, a ceremony. Do not expect it to be anything more than that. Very well then. You may return, Wake Woman. Thank you for your help. You intend to go back to Nezeru Sea, even without us? Morn and the others have settled in well, and I've done what Nemo's entrusted me to, so my work here is done. Take care, Your Highness. I will.
The Red Dragon sets out in the direction from whence she came. Everything that happened yesterday seems but a distant shadow now, but also a tiny spark of flame.
Return the fire. Have you made up your mind to go to your death?
Deadbeat grandpappy.
Stranger? Good timing, sir. May we talk? If you will help me. Did your Red Dragon history lessons ever teach you about the poor wretch by the name of Labrethak? Excuse me? I'll take that as a no. After returning to the palace for the first time in years, he never even had the chance to see his brother before the guards took him away, plunged a sword through his chest. I know the story. Then why are you so eager to follow in his footsteps and have history remember you as a fool? Leave. You've seen your sister. You're still alive. That you've already achieved more than I ever did. He ever did. The story of Labrethak and Aililil is not the story of me and Ablana. Fine. Let's say I was willing to hear you out. What did you want to talk about? The city's fire returning ceremony. I just wanted to find someone to help with the preparations, but you seem to know a lot more of the history and tales of Tara, so I was thinking you might be able to help. History. Tales. We can talk on the way. Come. But that's not the way to the Dark Woods. Just follow me. Worked out for you in the woods, didn't it?
Oh, finally some help.
The ruins of the palace? It's been here before. It's dangerous. I've been here before. It's dangerous. The Originium-rich environment is... You said you wanted history and tales. What better place in Tara than this ancient place?
Ooh, new cuss words.
The what palace?
Grandpappy's teaching you a few new ancient cuss words. Pay attention, Lashini.
Ah, never mind.
He's a bad influence.
I appreciate your help in the woods, but I have important business to attend to. I don't have time to... And what's this important business? Dying for nothing. Sure, you're different from your sister. That dragon's flames may be cursed, but her personality is as typical as they come. Arrogant, leaving no room for any other voice. You may be better, but...
I'm different from my sister, and she's not who she says she is.
But however different you may be, conflict is in the nature of the Red Dragons. Even if you were merely dragged into it, there is only ever one outcome. Only one may emerge alive.
That's what you think, bub. We're in a gacha game. We can't kill any of these playable characters.
One of you will die sooner or later, so what's the hurry? Have patience, young dragon. We're almost there.
Eblana is not what she says she is? What if the real spoiler is that we find out she's not actually a Draco? Couldn't be, surely.
We come here for this altar.
Altar? You mean the thing in the middle? Isn't that the furnace? The furnace which fused together the weapons of every Terran soldier and overturned the fate of the dynasty. The furnace from which fallen soldiers were reborn.
That's what you call it today, isn't it? Far more important than just another altar, to be sure. But an altar is an altar, even if it's a little bigger than the others. It was based on the ceremonial stone circle used to coronate King Gale, and the palace was built around it. Whenever an old red dragon died, this is where the fire was returned to them.
The fire returned?
What you saw back at the Woodbrains camp. Gotta give them credit. They managed to remember all that, even centuries later. Fire returning wasn't just about a bonfire back in the day, though. By the time of the old hag, Magrid, it was enough for the siblings of the heir to the title of King Gale to put their hands into the fire and get a few new blisters. Go back even further, though, those siblings would have burned alive together, or so they say. There's no hard evidence. Now you've gone even paler.
He flicks his hand, and a speck of purple fire flies forth from his sleeve, joining the same purple fire in the altar. The flames breathe quietly, like an infant in its mother's embrace.
Your flame is purple too? No, wait. You're a Draco. Could you be...
Awfully slow, aren't ya? Well, it's too late to run. Put your hand in.
What?
You want Nezeru to return its fire, didn't you? Put your hand in.
The red dragon falls silent, then stretches out her hand to touch the flame in the furnace. As expected, it is not warm, but to her surprise, it does not feel cold either.
Now, I brought you here to see something. The tragedy of Tara. The ill repute of the Red Dragons is simply the crude cycle of fate repeating itself again and again. Your sister, I was an aberration that breathed the flames of death. It is not my intention to disrespect the dead, nor could I, even if I wanted to, but I wanted to show you.
Oh, so you're where she gets it from. Got it. You guys share the same flames.
The fate of those who die upon this land.
Well, they solved your red flame problem by killing you. Surely there's another way in modern day, am I right? Right. Is this where we should begin? Understandable. Of all recent events, it is the most significant. Your sister was right. Those who have touched the flames of death... Oh wait, this is him.
Those who have touched the flames of death are beyond the help. Yet the fire should not have spread so readily. What hatred did it take for the Dracos to once again sire an ill omen of aberration The first in 600 years. Ah, and him. If you ask me, he slept in far too late. Could hardly drag himself out of bed by sunset. Of course, he became a sacrifice.
The purple aura wasn't just because he was stinky. I think it's both. I think he's both a stinky deadbeat grandfather, and he's got deathly flames. I don't know, if you've been dead for 600 years, I think he smells.
Even you should not speak of the...
Oh wait. Even you should not speak of the dead so lightly. Do not justify it as a sacrifice.
You can only say that because you've seen too little. Those feelings will pass soon enough once you're used to it. See, here comes another sacrifice.
Oh. Sacrifice. Nemos? Bridget? Lauren?
The Victorians who killed you should have been chased out. The last Victorian bastard died before my eyes. In a sense, your sister's dream did become a reality. The Terrans have risen, and the Victorians have fallen. Simple, direct, satisfying.
Were you one of the bystanders too?
Don't get caught up in all that, child. You know what I am. This I don't recognize. Explain.
Well, you see, Eblana was out there, sorta facing the Nezeru king, Nezeru, somehow. And he survived. He survived to be killed within the city, along by the Victorians and the Exemplars. So in essence, Eblana kinda aura lost there. She suffered deep aura loss by letting Nezeru survive after one confrontation.
It was war.
There are always many wars. Be specific. Who did she incinerate, and what land did she set her sights on?
Victoria. Eblana wanted to take Tara back from the Aslands. This was the conclusion to that war.
Conclusion, my ass, she didn't kill Nezeru, dog.
The Aslands. Those conceited bastards. But is she not facing a sarcasm?
It's complicated. If I had to explain the Londinium conflict, we'd be here for an extra day.
Never mind. The Lions were always the ones who stole Victoria. That's all I need to know.
Bro was already dead ass. He was feeding upon war. I think my man's Nezeru was still up and running on that old man demon juice by the end of it, by the time that he faced off with the Victorians within the city.
Don't you dare disparage the name of Nezeru. We share the same name. The Nezeru king was a Giga Chad who died a Giga Chad.
Who, more importantly, didn't fall in front of Eblana.
I don't need you to tell me what this is, just as I can tell the expression beneath the mask.
This was all the way in Chapter 11, when Reed was still the puppet of Eblana.
The satisfaction and joy that only appear on a red dragon's visage, the face of certain death.
Also when, you know, that whole city burst into flames and the Victorian government was like, okay, who cares about the populace? Bring down the bombs. Who cares about collateral? Bring down the bombs.
No, that wasn't joy. It was the opposite.
The opposite? Maybe you were simply gravely injured and started hallucinating on the brink of death. But as I said, this is simply repeating the past. Cities may ride on wheels now when the master of the realm has changed hands, but what's inside never changes.
Master of the realm has changed hands? What does that mean? Master of the realm has changed hands? I won't read too deep into it. I'll just assume it's just about the Aslans and the Dracos and the Victorians and the Sarkas. Oh, it's this one guy.
What is this? Your home? Where did you learn to point your blades at each other? Who's this man?
The Earl of Warwick, our foster father. Ablana said he helped Terrans see hope. A hope they could see but never reach. That all he did was drive thirsty travelers mad with mirages. In his hand held a delicate thread. On one end were the Terrans who had rediscovered their name. On the other lay the oppressors who had trodden on them for too long. That thread was my sister and I. Looking back, perhaps, it was the first to be afflicted by the purple flame.
Ha! Not only do you sympathize with your sister, but you also know her well. No wonder you're so loath to kill her.
I have no intention of becoming like her, nor will I simply allow myself to be killed. These events, this history you had me recall, what are you trying to tell me?
That the history of Tara is nothing but the continuous accumulation, recombination of ruins of the past. What you have seen, what I have too. Nothing new can be found within.
What I see are not ruins, but the source of the flames. The flames in the Sarisi are indeed my sister's fire, but they are also the great sorrow behind the bloodshed, left with nowhere to go. Chapter check before. Sometimes I lose track. Wait. It was the war. No, the pain, the oppression. The things taken from them which began long before the war. That's what lit the fire in their hearts. My sister shaped their sorrow into hatred, which scorched the fields of Tara and drove out the Victorians. However, without vengeance to cloak the sorrow, that same fire has come back to burn them, burning away everything they have, until they are nothing but the walking dead. In short, post-war, they don't really have anything to hope for. They've liberated themselves from the Victorians, but they're not thriving, they're not hoping. I wonder if there's a certain Draco that could grab the reins and infuse a bit of warm hope flames into their veins. I'm sorry. I'm very Superman Hope Max coded right now. Because I recently watched Superman. It's only the path before me.
True, but how do you tread it? Come, we've seen your story. Now see mine.
Oh, finally we get a flashback of Grandpappy. We are gonna get a flashback, right? Flashback.
Don't cry now. It's just a cloud beast.
But I raised Greyclaw when she was just a baby. They say your fire is different, Daidi. You do not heal the living, but instead bring the dead back to life.
They don't come back. It's just an empty shell.
Even if it's just an empty shell, please, Daidi. I just want to hear Greyclaw's voice again. Yet I don't think you want a zombie bird. And so the impulsive Red Dragon let his daughter's plea get the better of his judgment. After a few months,
Strange things began to happen, not just to the cloud beast, but to all the beasts of the pasture. Burden beasts no longer ate grass. Cysty beasts no longer gave milk. The old refused to die. The young refused to live. Bare skeletons devoid of flesh began to roam the pastures. As the purple fire spread through the herds, the red dragon was forced to leave the pasture with his people. He made the same mistake many times throughout his existence.
Purple fire spread through the herds?
What about it? Your dear sister dared to burn people with that same fire. Now that's crazy.
How is the fire extinguished?
You'll find out soon enough.
He died. Spoilers! He died.
This is the Citadel, Nezeru. That same corridor?
No, but your mistake is understandable. We simply took a large step back in time. This is the palace you currently stand in looked 600 years ago. It's incredible how stone masons centuries hence managed to perfectly recreate it in this Nezeru of yours.
So what happened here?
Here,
They caught him and put him to death.
Labreathak the Fool had made too many mistakes, the likes of which you have already seen. Weak, felt his end coming. On the eve of Samhain, he came to see the brother he had not seen for 20 years, bearing the finest gifts his nomadic life would allow. He even convinced the druids of the city, who oversaw the festival ceremonies, to take him to his brother. Touched by his familiar love, they led him into the city, but he failed to realize when his guide's silhouette, voice, and demeanor changed. Not until it was too late. Was taken to this very corridor end.
Stabbed. Through the chest? Damn, bro, that's gotta hurt.
I doubt that Aelin, who gave the order to assassinate his brother, was on that balcony on the other side of the door. For my eyes were wide open until the very end. I never saw his fire the gaps. Where did it all go wrong? Was he angry that the priest continued to treat me as royalty? Did he consider me leaving without a word 20 years earlier a betrayal? Or was it someone else who wanted me dead? Simply had no choice. I'll never know. Within this brief, swift act of violence, there was only one thing that I had long known, that I never doubted. A red dragon never forgives. The hatred of the dragons is even longer than the history of Tara.
I mean, there's a first time for everything.
But there is more that I want to tell you. After I died, Aelil ordered my coffin dragged through the city for all to see the end that befell me. So purple fire raged through every pasture I had stayed at with my clan. Life turned its back on all those who touched it. Only death remained. 7 days later, the priest returned my fire to me at a clearing outside the dark woods, and only when the fire they returned to me was extinguished did the purple flames in the pastures begin to subside.
How do we return Eblana's flames to her without having her die and have her go through the funeral flame returning ceremony?
It was only then that the last vestige of my consciousness that remained in the flames after death faded into darkness.
Bro be like, history will repeat itself and have absolutely a different story. I'm sorry, Labrel. You're not a playable character. I'm sorry you're not a playable character. You didn't have plot armor. So...
All living things that touch the flames, people or beasts, were turned to ash. Your sister spoke true. The flames will continue to spread as long as she lives.
As long as she lives. Okay, I'm thinking of a secret third thing that could happen. Instead of them finding a way to just have Reed take over as the Draco, and Reed will become unemployed and leave Tara, and that simply subduing the flames. What if they do kill Reed in this chapter, however, bring her back as a living dead with her own purple flames? They're gonna pull a shoe on her. They're gonna kill her in her debut event and then bring her back to life, because we can't possibly kill a playable character. We kill her once, bring her back to life. We kill her once, gather all of the purple flames from the people in the lands, bring it back to her, and then she brings herself back to life as a waking dead. Problem solved. Hypergriff can benefit from 16 million in revenue from Eblana sales. And also, the good people of this Terran nation won't have to suffer anymore. I don't know. That's my new theory of how this is gonna end.
She's a typical red dragon. She's not so noble as to give up her life to save those who have yet to survive. If she's inviting you back, then it is certainly a trap. Run, call for help, yell, find someone who is her equal to extinguish the endlessly spreading flames. That is the only way.
But what if she has already decided that I'm the only one worthy to dance with her? What if I can't abandon the lives in the city to their fates, as long as there's any chance of saving them?
So you'll return the fire to someone who's still alive?
There's a loophole here, Labrea. There's a loophole here, though. Yes.
And what if that doesn't work?
Regardless, I'm going back, no matter what. Silence. Then Lashini hears a sigh.
I suppose stubbornness and stupidity really are hereditary.
Nothing could go wrong. Typical red dragon, the least typical red dragon. EA-6 after. This is far enough. We're already at the Wakeman camp. Wait, did we? Oh, okay.
Your sister roused me from my slumber. You could always return me to it with your own flames if you want.
Read! A golden-haired Pharaoh leaps off the back of the burden beast and rushes towards a red dragon. Brigid! The burden beast is dragging an improvised cart with numerous long wooden boxes stacked upon it.
Brigid? What are you doing here? Are those... coffins?
Yeah, coffins. Nemo said to bring them to the Wakeman. Are they still in the ruins? Say, is there someone with you? I can smell the same burning stink, and I could swear I heard you talking just now. See, even Brigid can tell that Grandpappy is stinky. Huh. Oh, now he pieces out. Deadbeat.
No, I'm alone.
These are dead folks. The type who'd pull their own arms out of their sockets to bite at their imaginary enemies if you grab their hand. Along with the poor wretches they tore to pieces. The fuck's happening in the city, dog? We left the city for 1 day! People are tearing themselves apart! And Theo. Nemo's found him in the end. It's almost like this was the natural order of things. Bonfires will be burning brightest when night falls in Samhain. The red dragon looks towards Nezeru and sees a faint shadow in the distance, painting the silhouette of purple flames. We'll be out of coffins if this keeps up. Oh great, Nemos. I don't know about you. I feel like you have playable character material. I'm 50-50 on whether you're gonna die in this chapter. But also, I think we've killed enough NPC characters. So you might be a bit safer. Wait, are you a playable character already? Did I forget? I don't know. You didn't arrive because we never pulled. I hope Bridget made it out of the city, and that the mist in the woods is thin enough for her to follow the trail. Blast it! Kalan left a few unused weapons in his house. I can't let anyone see them. And this fuel. Explosives. Her Highness Lashini might find a use for them. Now what's the point when every servant in the Citadel has already been afflicted by the purple flames? Besides, the greedy red dragon has already sent them away. Almost as if she's preparing for a showdown with Her Highness. Or setting a trap? Who's there? Rory, what are you doing here? You're Nemos. Yes, I'm going through Kalan's effects. If this is urgent, could I ask you to... What? Traitor! Have you gone mad? Oh, silly me, of course you have. We all have. Traitor! I still can't bring myself to kill them, even if they might as well be dead already. I'd better drag this fellow back home, but do without the unwanted attention. Bro, it's kill or be killed in the city. Everyone thinks everyone else is a Victorian spy. Phew. Nemos? Don't mind me, I'll be on my way. What's that in your hand? Oh, nothing. Now you'll excuse me. That necklace. It was a gift from Niels to Emma. I gave her bread. That's way more valuable than jewelry in times like these. She gave it to me. Did she now? A necklace she never takes off? It's none of your business. Bro! Nemos? You stayed behind? I thought all the Dubliners left the city. Don't tell me you're one of those living statues now, who refuse to move or talk? I might be soon. Why did you bring them up? Samhain begins tonight, so I went through all of the houses of the missing people and found plenty of good stuff for the party tonight. Samhain? Party? About Kalan, well, he was already on his last legs by then, and I didn't really... Let's not talk about that. Look at all this stuff. It'll be a night to remember. I think you're also too far gone. The woman shows Nemos her bag, revealing a bottle of curdled cysty milk, a few long since sprouted potatoes, and several bare bones. Ew, you're gonna drink expired milk? They don't have much, I don't blame them. Just wait for me, Nemos. Kalan, we'll have a fantastic Samhain. Only when the woman has already disappeared around the corner does Nemos remember who she is. A villager who once lived on the outskirts of Nezeru. 2 years ago, the Victorians took her father away while investigating Dublin. The autumn harvest had just ended and she had been preparing to celebrate the harvest festival. What Lashini hears about the situation in the city exceeds her wildest imagination.
I must go back now.
Wait for me. I'll come with once I've delivered these folks to the Wakemen.
Are you sure about this, Bridget? It's dangerous in the city. If I fail, there may be no survivors.
True, but I still gotta go.
Why?
Because it wasn't like this before. The city folk never had much to spare, but they always had a cup of water for me when I delivered their letters. They didn't see me as one of their own, but they didn't walk away with a sneer when I told them nomad legends either. They listened. They definitely didn't bite, claw, and punch at people like they do these days, like The Walking Dead straight from a story. Who will the nomads deliver letters for if the city dies for real?
Morin, the second shipment of bodies has arrived from the Nezeru Sea. I must make preparations. At this rate, it won't be long until the third, fourth, or more. Are we really going to ignore it? As I've told you many times, the Wakemen do not take sides. It is not our decision to make. Are the Nezeru not Terrans too? Why are we standing on the side watching when the Terran capital is marching towards destruction? I know you came back with the Red Dragon. You fear she will meet the same fate as La Breathak. But we were the ones to send La Breathak to his doom. We are descended from the priest that once officiated the ceremonies of Tara's royal palace. Our ancestors, moved by La Breathak's plea, welcomed him back to the palace when Aelil's stance was ambivalent. The flames of death that spread through the plains of Terra were only extinguished 7 days after his death, when our ancestors finally returned his fire to him. They then left the palace of their own accord, going into self-exile on La Breathak's former pastures, so as to never forget the lesson, and thus, the Wakemen were born.
It all comes full circle?
I'm sorry. But Reed isn't La Breathak. And history is not a cycle that repeats itself endlessly. If it were, Reed would have already died in that citadel. Even her tyrant of a sister was the one to free Tara from Victorian rule. Fates are often alike, but always differ where it matters most.
Yeah, dog. You just gotta believe. Oh! Back with the storyteller.
Fates are always often alike, but always differ where it matters most. What a wonderful tagline for the cover of the book. Surely this one is destined to be the bestseller for the bestseller charts. Assuming, of course, that you are able to finish the story.
I've never intended to profit off it.
Oh, you will. If not in money, then in fame.
The basis of the story where it happened. There are more than enough reasons this isn't my story to tell. Besides, what happens next?
That's what I wanted to ask. Did Lashini go back?
From this point on, what I've seen, what I believe, and what I've said all contradict one another, which is why I've lost sight of the ending. Feel free to take up the challenge. If you're up for it, give the dance between the dragon and her reflection whatever ending you please.
Oh? Is it all the same if I tell it myself?
Of course, ma'am. As you will it.
The writer raises his mug, which is almost empty now, and toasts the woman before him. Once again, he swallows the bitter brew, half expecting the sweet aftertaste that he knows will never come.
Did I spook you? You got so polite all of a sudden. It makes me feel impertinent for even pressing the question.
No, but I must make it abundantly clear that everything we have discussed until now is no more than idle chatter. You understand, don't you?
The woman sits straight and does not say a word. The writer can only attempt to guess whether she is still smiling through the shadows.
Well, what are you waiting for? I've nearly finished my drink.
I've fallen into the same conundrum as you.
If this is as far as both your references and your imagination go, how could I possibly put the Red Dragon's ultimate fate to paper? What will happen to Eblana? I wonder if she lives at the end of this event. G.
I've already said that I'm able to. All I'm able to. I refuse to give this story an entirely fictional end. One that not even I could believe in, even if the alternative is that there is no ending. If you don't have an answer either, then no need to waste your time here, even while it's still early.
Is this because you do not remember, do not understand, or is it because you wish you never knew, never understood?
What? What are you getting at?
You've never lost sight of the ending. It would be more appropriate to say that your eyes have become clouded by too many creative liberties. Shall I recount them to you? Treasures leading people into the darkness. Kalan dragging the statue to the square by himself. And virtually everything related to the dark mist in the woods. From the rejection of Brigid, to the food carts returning to the city on their own, to Lashini becoming lost in the woods, to the Brigadier and Ablana's meeting in the city. If these creative liberties have created the contradictions in your mind, then it is my responsibility to set them on a path towards the ending. Shall I supplement the story with my own observations? Interesting. Are we working with an unreliable narrator when it comes to the Dark Woods? Because so far everything involving Reed and Ablana, they've been set in stone. However, all the fuckery so far has involved the Dark Woods. You mean to say that might just be embellishment by this writer? So are we gonna get the full picture once the mysterious woman gives her side of the story? I'll take that as a yes. Perhaps they will lead you to a conclusion that you will be satisfied with. If so, what is the Dark Woods a metaphor for? I wonder. And we will be wondering for the next 24 hours, because that's where we will be ending for today. A lot of things went on. It was, we just got with, well, things are not looking good for the city. And so far, all the roads are pointing towards, we gotta kill Ablana to return her fire from the citizens and the land back to her, so that everyone will be healed. There surely wouldn't be any other way to save everyone without killing Ablana. Gee, I wonder how things will end. My theory, at least from the things that we've seen so far, is that they're gonna pull a shoe on us. They're gonna pull a shoe just like during the Sui saga. They're gonna kill Ablana during the actual chapter, and then bring her back, and then return the fire when she's dead, and then we'll bring her back to life as a living dead, so that we could both profit from her being a gacha waifu, and we could also benefit the story having a happy ending. I don't know, but that's just a theory. A game theory! Anyway, thank you everyone that stopped by, chilled out in chat, used as a second monitor content, and watched us read and react through the middle chapters of When Elegies Are Ashes. We will be back tomorrow, same time, same place for the finale of our story reading. And this weekend, we will be griefing the queues as we begin playing Icebreaker Games #1. Until then, my name is Nez and thanks for watching. Let's see friendos tomorrow. Bye-bye.